We were slow trolling in Woodruff. Kent had actually found these fish on Wednesday when it was calm, and we had 2 boats. We brought 2 boats down from Indiana to kind of spread out and cover some water. And Kent found these fish on Wednesday, so we decided to go back in obviously to that area.
Right.
Kent had caught I think a 282 and a couple of 2-pound fish in that general area. I hadn't fished that area, and we went back this morning, and it was smoking hot for the first 45 minutes. I mean, it was 45 minutes. We probably had 14 pounds.
Wow.
In 45 minutes. Fishing the dollar pads, the lilies that actually submerged underneath the water. The key to us catching those fish was we were creeping. 0.2, 0.3, and that's not usually what we do.
Right.
I mean, we usually will power troll or cover some water. But we did not leave an area today of, I would say, 300 yards. John Payton come by us and watched us fish, and he was moving too fast. And I think he had mentioned he'd seen us catch 8 fish right there, and he didn't have a bite. He knew where those fish were in the pads, but it was just a matter of speed. Color, and this is the way I feel about Florida all around, is Florida's a bait thing. You gotta have the right bait. Key to us today, where we're using an orange hair jig.
Really? Hair jig?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time down here you'll see zip jigs on every one of our poles.
Right.
We didn't put a zip jig on, not one. It was a small 32nd ounce orange hair jig, and we used some orange road runners on a top hook.
Right.
I'd say 90% of the fish that we caught were all on the orange hair jig. So,
yeah.
You know, when you find something that works, typically it will last through a day or 2.
Sure.
So.
Had a great wait today to see huge fish down here. What do you attribute that to where these fish being that size want those smaller bait, but if you go to a place like Grenada Lake, you want a bigger profile bait? What do you attribute that to?
You know, the old adage says black crappie, small bait, white crappie, big bait. You know, I think that there's times where that's definitely the case, and I think there's times where it's completely, you can throw it out the window. Today, obviously, it was a small bait, small minnow, small hair jig, catch big fish. When you're here, you gotta put yourself in a position where you're catching a bunch of fish.
Sure.
To cull out those larger ones. That's what we've always done here. I mean, St. Johns River's been good to us.
Yes.
We've been successful here on it. The one thing I'll say, to a lot of people is this water is obviously fertile with the grass shrimp and the pads and the food source. What we've noticed over the last 5-6 years is you'll catch fish pretty solid from sun up to about 10 or 11 o'clock. And you'll find yourself going through a dry spell through the day, and it turned back on right before dark. I think a lot of that has to do with the water clarity. I mean, it does not look like clear water, but it is definitely clear.
Yes.
We obviously big believers in Humminbird electronics. I tell you this, we didn't even turn our front graph on today. I think it was a key to catching fish. We had a local team that was right next to us, or some local guys, some fishermen out there in a John boat. Had a Lowrance unit on, just tinging away. I listened to it for about 2 hours, and I said, fellas, if you want to catch a few more fish, you may want to turn that graph off.
Yeah.
I mean, huge believer in Humminbird electronics.
Absolutely.
B&M poles, major key to success. Having the fishing those pads, having the limber rod to be able to get see your bait actually hit those pads where you could back it up, set it back down. A lot of times when you set that pole right back in the Driftmaster rod holder, you'd see that tip just barely go down and you set the hook.
Wow.
So I'd say today when we catch 50-60 fish.
Good day on the water.
Yeah, we had a blast. I mean, it was a beautiful day, sunny. I mean, it's a great place to fish.
I go fishing.
Threw back 10 or so fish plus over 2 pounds.
Yeah.
How about that? That's a good day on the water. Now, if you can